Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I'm Sabir Hasnain, your social studies subject teacher from grade 7. In this lecture, we will start chapter number 16, The Road to Independence. And in this chapter, we will discuss in detail about how Muslims of the subcontinent got independence from the British forces or British. So let's take a start with some introduction. As we know, the First World War took place from 1914 to 1918. Indian troops, all Indian or Indian soldiers who worked in British Army played their role or played a large part in that war, in that fighting. Okay, so Muslim soldiers were also Muslims were also the part of the British Army, and the Muslim soldiers were fighting against the Turk Muslims or Muslim Turks in that First World War. So Indian soldiers, including Muslims, suffered terrible casualties and very brutal treatment at the hands of the Turkish army. Okay, and due to this the large casualties, to reward them, the British PM Lloyd George. So the British PM Lloyd George promised India to give them a full self-government after the war, but he didn't say when about it. Okay, so now Muhammad Ali Jinnah is a leading figure, Muslim figure, and he was already a member of Indian Legislative Council. He joined Muslim League in 1913. Before that, he was he was a member of Indian National Congress as well. So at the same time, he was member of Muslim League and Indian National Congress as well. 3 years later, he became the president of Muslim League. 3 years later, in 1916, he became the president of Muslim League. As we know, he is a strong supporter of United Subcontinent, and he tried to get Indian National Congress and Muslim League to work together towards this end, towards the independence from British. So he wanted that Muslims and Hindus work together for independence against British. So at Lucknow in 1916, he got some good result, and he reached with an agreement with the Indian National Congress to cooperate with the separate electorates for Muslims and Hindus in the future government of the United India. So it means they decided that Muslims should vote Muslims and Hindus should vote Hindus in the future government of United India after the independence. So that is actually a separate electorates for Muslims and Hindus. At that time, Mr. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, who was the dominant Indian politician until the partition, came to lead the Hindus. On Muslim sides, we have Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and on the other side Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. leads the Hindus. Now let's discuss the Montague and Campbell reforms. The reforms were in of 1921. So these are the reforms of 1921, and they are known as Montague-Campbell reforms. And these reforms were the third step towards the independence of the subcontinent. The few major points of these reforms are: number one, a central assembly was to be set up for the India. There is a central assembly, like in Pakistan we have the National Assembly, okay, which represents all the provinces. So there is a central assembly which represents all the Indian subcontinent, with 144 members, of whom 103 were to be elected by the people. So out of those 144, 103 were to be elected by the Indian people. The second point, the assembly could make the law, but the viceroy could under certain circumstances veto or forbid them. Okay, so this central assembly could make some laws. Definitely assemblies are for legislations, and for that's why this assembly, central assembly, was set to be make the laws. But at the same time, the viceroy of India had a right to undo that thing, or under circumstances he vetoed those laws as well. Number third point, all provinces would have many elected assemblies to run health, local government, agriculture, education and transport. So at the same time, other than the central assembly, there are provinces, and those are provincial assemblies. Okay, and they have to run the local government, agriculture, education and transport. Along with that, but the defense, foreign affairs, police and budget was still to be the responsibility of the viceroy and the council. Okay, so, and the fourth point, there were to be 2 or 3 Indian members of the viceroy close inner cabinet. So in the viceroy's cabinet, there were 2 to 3 Indian persons would be the part of that cabinet. The Congress rejected this proposal, the Montague and Campbell reforms. The Congress rejected these reforms. Okay, and the future battle lines seem to be drawn up. So it creates a future battle line seem to be drawn up. On Congress side, Mr. Gandhi, Mr. Nehru, Mr. Tilak were the leaders, and on the Muslim sides we have Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Dr. Allama Iqbal were the main leaders. But Mr. Jinnah still hoped for the two sides to work together, okay, for independence, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah pleaded or requested all the Hindus at the conference in 1929 for them to unite for the subcontinent. But unfortunately, Congress rejected his proposal and wanting a complete power for Hindus, because they thought they are in majority, so they had a right for the complete majority and the complete power for the Hindus as well. I hope you learned a lot from this video. In next video lecture, we will discuss about the 14 points of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and the Round Table Conference, and later on we will discuss about the Government of India Act 1935. Thank you very much. Stay blessed.